lastly, not the least, we talk about earned value management. Now let's get back here and talk a little bit about contractual relationship. Now let's talk a little bit about contracts here. Okay, contractual relationship, very important. We will be covering contract and project delivery methods. But first, let's talk about a contract. What is a contract? So for me, contract or project delivery method, contractual relationships are just arrangement in order to share risk in a project. But to be very specific, so when we talk about a contract is a binding agreement. What does that mean? A contract being a binding agreement. So it's an agreement that can be enforceable in court. That's what it means. It is binding. But in order for a contract to be binding, there are 5 criteria that need to be respected per se. So the first thing for a contract to be binding, an offer need to be made and accepted. There should be a mutual intent to enter into contract. There should be the consideration, the capacity to contract, and a lawful purpose. What does that mean? So if I wanted to build something, I need to make an offer, calling people. If I'm a client, I want somebody to build my house. I need to make an offer. Okay, I want somebody to build my house. So that is an offer. I'm offering that people, contractors, come and build my house. But a contractor need to accept. Okay, that's an offer that is made. I need to be accepted. Somebody need to come up and say, okay, look, yes, I accept to do that. I accept that offer. Okay, that's the first thing. An offer being made and accepted. The second thing is a mutual intent to enter into contract, meaning that I'm willing to get into a contract with somebody, and the contractor is willing to do the job. So you must not force somebody into entering a contract with you. So there should be a mutual intent to enter into a contract, and there should be a consideration. Okay, there should be a consideration. So for the contractor that want to build my house, they will not be really for free. They need to be consideration. They need to be paid for what they are doing. So that is a consideration. Okay. Then there should be a capacity to contract. You cannot get into the contract with a 5-year-old boy or girl, child. You cannot get into the contract with somebody that has lost their mental capacity. You cannot do that. That is the capacity to contract. People should should have the capacity to get into the contract, to understand what it means, etc., etc. Then the contract should have a lawful purpose. You cannot get in the contract to do something that is illegal. I cannot contract with somebody to do something that is illegal, because if things goes wrong, then we cannot go in court because what we did was illegal. Okay, so the object of the contract need to be lawful, right? Lawful purpose. Now, there are different types of contract out there. So basically, a contract could be classified in 3 types. We have what's called fixed price contracts, and cost plus contract, and time and material contract. Fixed price contract simply means that once we got into the contract, the contractor will not change the price of the contract unless I change the specification. Unless the client changes the specification. That's what I mean, a fixed price contract. So if I want you to build my house, I provide you with the drawings and specification. Then I say that, look, it is a fixed price contract. You say that, okay, I'll build your contract, your project at $500,000. Then if at the end of the day, your project, the project costs more or less, you have no things coming back to with the client and say, okay, look, adjust the price or refund the money. No, it's a fixed price contract. The price that was agreed upon is the price of the contract. So, but I can modify the specification. If I want to modify, I want to build additional, maybe an attached garage, then you're going to provide another quotation. That's a different thing. Then there's also what is called cost plus contract. Cost plus contract, usually you can hire somebody to do the management of the construction of your house. So that person, what they will do is that they are just doing the management. As they are only doing the management, they will be in what is called cost plus contract. So they take the bill, they send it to you, and at the end of the day, they have their profit. That is called that usually be a percentage fees. So that's the cost plus contract. So if you want me to build your house, okay, I will say, okay, I'll hire an architect. Then I'll request for quotation for architects. Then I'll send it to you as a client. Then you approve. Then we go forward. I'll be doing that sort of coordination. But the contract between you and me is gonna be what's called a cost plus contract. There are also time material contracts. So if you want a plumber to come and repair your sink at home, they may not know how long it will take. So the only thing they will do is that they will say, okay, look, it's going to cost us, it's going to cost you $100 per hour. So if you take them 1 hour, that'll be $100. If you take 10 hours, that'll be $1,000. So that's what it means. That is a cost and time material contract. Now, maybe another thing to mention here is that in Canada, for instance, maybe you want to ask us, okay, look, what should be included in the contract? And even in the cost estimator, you need to have that information. In Canada, there is the Canadian Construction Document Committee that develops standards contract. They have different types of contract models, templates that you can use. You can find more additional information on their website. So this, for instance, an example of one of their CCDC2. That is like a fixed price contract, stipulated fixed price contract. So they have the type of contract for construction management, for cost plus contract, etc., etc. There are different types of contracts out there. So there's no need for you to start hiring lawyers. So, but it doesn't mean you may not need a lawyer, but it simply means that you already have a point to start with the CCDC contracts. So as a cost estimator, you need to have understanding on contract and the different terms, the different clauses that you may find to the contract, because some of them may affect the way you're delivering your cost estimate, and some of them may affect the way you're planning your work. So and the next thing here we're going to talk is the project delivery method. That is some sort of consequence of the type of contract that you may use, because if your project is done, if you have a fixed price contract, maybe you may use there's a particular project delivery method that you must use when you have fixed price contract. But if you want to have a cost plus contract, there's different organization that you may have. So that's what we're going to see now into the project delivery method. So there are basically 3 types of project delivery methods. There's what they call DBB, DB, and CM. DBB stands for design build, design bid build, then design build and construction management. But what does that mean? These because in any construction project I would say 3 key stakeholders. We have the client, we have the designers, and we have the contractors or the builders. So these are the 3 key stakeholders, and the way they are arranged, the way they are organized to deliver the project is what we call the project delivery methods. One of the way, these are the 3 most common. We have the DBB, the DB, and the CM, the construction management organization. So now, what is DBB? DBB is design bid build. It's a traditional method. So the client is going to have these links here are going to be contractual links. So the client is going to have a contract with the designer, with the general contractor. So that these are the design. The designer could be architects and engineers. So there could be a main designer that will hire an architect and an engineer. So it depends. The contractor, the general contractor, that is the DC, we're going to have to hire subcontractors and suppliers. So that's the key here. So the particularity of DBB contract here is that the client will first hire the designer. The designer will develop drawings and specifications. The designer will develop construction document. And once construction drawings are completed, they will go on bidding. They will go on tender to have general contractor bid on the project. And when the general contractor will bid on the project, they will select now the general contractor, the successful contractor that will be awarded the contract to build the project. So that's what it's called DBB. So the construction will not start unless the design is completed and the tender completed also. So that's what it means. So first of all, you have the design process being done and completed, then the bidding process, and lastly the building process. Then the next here we need to talk about is going to be the design build. So what is the design build? The design build is we have the client and the design builder. You can see the client has a contract only with one entity. That's the design builder. So there are contractors, there are different kind of organizations out there that are called design builders. So they may have in-house resources to do the design and to do the construction. So they have in-house engineers, in-house architects, in-house builders. So they have capability of doing so. In that case, the client will just hire a design builder that will help them do that. For instance, when the government, some government projects, you want to build hospital, they will go into a design build. So they will go on tender to hire somebody that will propose and the design and the construction of their hospital. So usually for major critical infrastructure, public infrastructure project, they use the design build. So, but even private institutions, they also use that. So the key thing is that the contract is awarded to the design builder, and the design builder has everything it takes to do the design and do the construction. They want to do that at the same time or not, it depends on them. So, but that is a design build. So it's some sort of turnkey project. So that you have the project they will give you some sort of performance specification. We have we want a 400-bedroom hotel, a 400-bedroom hospital that will have this capability, this capability, this capability. Then design builder will be in charge of doing the design and in charge of doing the construction. And for sure, there will be milestone gate control with the client in order to check the progress and to check what they are doing to ensure that the design and the construction complies with the client requirements, client expectation. Then lastly, we have the construction management. Construction management, there are two types of construction management. There's what we call construction management at risk and construction manager as agent. Basically, the construction manager is an entity or an organization that will act on the behalf of the client. So that is like the pure construction management. The pure construction management, the client will have to hire a construction manager, and the construction manager is going to help them selecting designers and contractors. So, but the client will not have, the construction manager will not have any direct contract with the designer. It's the client that will do. So the contract will be between the client and the designer, and the client and the general contractor. So even though the construction manager will going to help the client, we will be representing the client in front of the designers and the contractor. That's what it means. So basically, so that's what it's called pure construction management. So what is really interesting here is that we have another variant of that. That is called the construction manager at risk. The construction manager at risk, the client is going to have a contract with the designer and with the construction manager. But you can say, okay, look, okay, what is the difference between that and this one? This one being the DBB. Okay, the difference is very simple. In construction management in construction manager or construction management delivery methods, the advantage here is that when the client is going to hire a designer, at the same time they will hire a construction manager. The construction manager is going to have their inputs already at the start of design. So usually in this kind of organization, the type of contract between the client and the construction manager is what's called the GMP, guarantee maximum price contract. So the client will come and say, okay, look, what you want to do, I can do that at this cost. Then the client will hire an independent designer, and then the construction manager will be having input. Having input so they deliver the project as fast as possible and within the budget. And if it be delivered below the budget, then they'll be sharing the profit with the client 50-50 or depending on the ratio that they would have agreed on. So that's what it means, construction management. And one of the good things is in construction management, even at risk here or as agent here, is that they can start the construction without even having completed the design. So they can do what's called the fast track. So, and that is mostly done in design build here. So in the design build here, one of the key advantages of design build is that it's fast tracking. So if I am a design builder, once I've completed the design of the building structure, and then I can start doing the excavation work. I can start doing other things. So while waiting for, if the only thing remaining is going to be the design or the interior partition. Interior partition, some of them may not have a huge impact on the structure. So if we've already have 100% design or the structural components, so we can start doing the construction, and that's going to be fast. So so that's it. So these are the three key project delivery methods. So we talk about the design build when that the construction will not start unless the design is completed. We have the design build where the design, the construction can start at the same time before the design is completed. The same thing for construction management. So that is one of the advantages. And the good news or the good thing for the construction management is that you have a construction manager that acts on the behalf of the client. Because some clients also may not have better understanding. They may not have time. They may not have in-house resources to be attending meetings, to be discussing with designers. So they're going to have to hire a construction manager that's going to act on their behalf. So basically, that is what it means. But you may want to ask, okay, which method here is the best? It really depends. So usually, if you already have full scope, full knowledge of your project, and you don't want to have any risk, then you can get into DBB here. DBB here, you know the scope of your project. I know what I need to build from A to Z. So I'm going to get into a fixed price contract with the contractor. So usually, DBB is more prone here for when you have DBB, usually most people are going to use fixed price contract. But in design build here and construction management, there are different organizations. Not necessarily, it could be fixed price also, guarantee maximum price. Sometimes in construction management, like this one here, it's going to be cost plus. So whatever thing it costs here, if it costs here maybe $200,000, the construction manager is going to take 5% or 10% depending on what was agreed. What I think it costs here, so that's what we call cost plus. But the role of the construction managers are going to be representing the client, acting on behalf of the client. So, but they're going to charge some fees for that. For in this organization, they're going to have maybe another cost plus that's called guarantee maximum price contract, where they're going to guarantee, okay, your project will not cost more than, I don't know, $40 million. And then if it costs less than that, we're going to be sharing the profit. If it costs more than that, there will be some penalty, etc. But usually that's what it means. So, but which one is the best? Okay. Based on a research that was done in 1997 by Mark Concher here, as you can see, it took, I think, it took, I think almost 351 projects, if my memory is correct, 351 projects in the United States, and having being delivered using these three methods, and he ran an analysis and he came back with a result. And the result is clear and concise, as you can see on the screen here. So what it happens that in terms of average cost per square foot, when you use DBB, it was about $120 per square foot. But when you use DB, design build, $80 per square foot. Construction management at risk, it was $106. You can see here which one is more efficient. If you were to ask you which one will you go, you're going to take the one that's less expensive. Design build. Design build is preferred. Then construction management at risk, then the last is going to be DBB, the conventional method, traditional method. In terms of cost growth, that means the cost changes during construction or change orders or whatever cost growth that may happen during design and construction. So you can see that when you're having design build, the cost will change less, 2%, 2.17%. Construction manager 3.71%, 3.37%, and DBB that will be 4.85%. You can see that the client will prefer design build, then construction management at risk, then design DBB. So, but I want to mention here that most organizations still use DBB, maybe 60% or 70% of projects still carry under DBB here. And you can see here 4.7, this is almost 5%. And I want to mention something here. We mentioned about contingency earlier. Most organizations, when the project is going into construction, they require the project management team to have at least 5% contingency. That is in order to absorb whatever thing may happen here, because 5% is like what used to happen in the past. In terms of construction speed, which one is faster? Okay, consider with DB here, with DBB we're building almost 5,000 square foot of floor per month, but with DBB we are building more per month, 9,000. With construction management we are building 8,000. You can clearly see which one is faster. It is DB, because we build much per month. Okay, then if you include the design, because delivery speed, construction speed here is just the construction, the actual construction. Delivery speed here is when we include the design. Okay, because in DB, for instance, you do the design first, then you do the construction. So if you include the design, what about the speed of construction? Which one is faster? You can see that DBB takes 3,000 square foot per month to build, and this one is 6,000, almost 7,000 per month. This one is 4,000. You can see that by far design build here is the most efficient way. Design build is the way to go. So design build, based on this research, is what provide better, most efficient result to optimal result to clients and to all the party involved. So that's what we just want to mention here. But it doesn't mean, depending on what you're looking for, depending on the risk you want to share, maybe you've been decided or want to go with design build or DBB. But as a cost estimator, you need to understand this, because that will help you a lot. You're going to need to, depending also on the fees, what it costs, what to put into your cost, you need to understand this.